and welcome to the reteach of atomic size, sometimes called atomic radius. All right, so first, let's talk about what happens as you go down a column. Sometimes this is called a group, sometimes a family. They're all the same thing. But what we see is atoms get bigger. Why? Well, here's a picture of hydrogen with its one orbital. Here's lithium with two orbitals. Notice it has two orbitals and it's in row 2. In row 3, we got sodium with 3 orbitals. So as you go down, you get more orbitals, which means that you're adding on layers. Things are getting bigger and bigger and bigger because you're adding more orbitals. So each row, also called a period, adds more electrons. So as you go down a column or group or family, you're adding enough electrons to make a new shell. Well, that new shell has to be bigger than the last, which means that as you go down, you get bigger atoms. Note, though, that row 1, period 1, has 1 orbital. Everything in period 2 has 2 orbitals. Everything in period 3 has 3 orbitals, and so on. All right, now, as we go across, though, sorry, from your perspective, across, we see that the atoms get smaller. Why? Well, this is because of attraction. Here you can see that I have 3 protons for lithium. When I have 4 protons, I have the same number of orbitals, still 2 orbitals, but they've pulled in tighter. 5 protons pulled in tighter. 6 protons pulled in tighter. 7 tighter. 8 tighter. 9 tighter. 10 tighter. So you get a very, very tiny atom called neon. So the more protons there are, the more attraction there is. So the electrons get pulled in more, making your atom smaller. All right, now it's time for an awkward analogy to help explain this idea. So here you have a representation of Mr. Saslow. I used to love the big baggy jeans. I used to have spiked hair back when I, had hair. I had a big old wallet chain. I thought I was the coolest. I wasn't, but I thought I was. But I was fairly shy, especially when it came to people that I found attractive. So here I am as a negative, an electron, and over there is a proton, a positive. I find myself attracted. They might be moderately attracted back even, but the attraction is not big enough to overcome my general, shyness. However, if I get a buddy and they get a buddy, well, now there's a lot more attraction. There's double the attraction going on here. And also I got a friend now to, help bolster my spirits a little bit. We can hang out a little closer. I'm still shy, but, closer. A third friend for each group shows up. We're getting even closer still. More people, more attraction. Until finally the 2 groups get as close together as they possibly can. This is our protons and our electrons. As the number of protons grow, the electrons get pulled in closer, especially since you usually add more electrons. Now, of course, things get a little weird when you start talking about things becoming an ion, so we're not going to worry about it too much, except to say that this is like Mr. Sazzo getting dumped, and he has to leave the group. That's the ion getting kicked off. This is now a positive ion. That changes the size a little bit, but we're not going to worry about it. All right, here's your translation. More protons and electrons, more attraction. More attraction, they want to hang out closer to each other. The more attraction there is, the closer and closer they get. The closer and closer they get, the smaller and smaller they get. So as you go across a period or a row, your atoms get smaller. All right, there you go. That was your reteach for atomic size, also known as atomic radius. Good work.